violent vertical edge setter.
You're gonna be in the net. I see some gas off the edge. Get that mindset to put your shoulder on somebody. Dig, drop. You're finished. Hey, first down. This is weird. Get worse than that, sorry.
Well, hello, everybody. Oh, there it is. Hello, everybody. We are back. This is GreenBean. Welcome to the After Hours Jets Fest, where we do a little thing called setting the mood. Let's set the mood a little bit. Here we go. We'll do a little mood lighting setting, okay? And we'll switch it to, it's so much better than before. What's happening, everybody? Okay, so we are back. We just finished a very lively Talking Jets panel with Matt O'Leary, Ryan at Jets Talk 24/7, where we introduced the new feature of freezing everybody. You guys can freeze us. Amazing. That was fun. And we talked a lot about Aaron Rodgers. Interestingly enough, I'm going to point this out. I was thinking about it, but I didn't say it. We didn't mention Derek Carr once. Isn't that amazing? 2 days ago, he was 50% of all of our conversations gone, just like that. Isn't that amazing? So we didn't talk about Derek Carr. We talked about Jimmy G, but only in a passing way. I think most Jets fans are really thinking that this Aaron Rodgers thing is going to happen. Now, why do we think that? Well, we got reports that the Jets had spoken with Aaron Rodgers, and we got confirmation from Connor Hughes, then we got confirmation from the big fish Ian Rappaport. Then we got the whole thing that they were flying out to meet with them. Then we had a Jets guy from Twitter staked out at the airport filming Aaron Rodgers walking out to the private jet of one Woody Johnson. It got real in a hurry, didn't it? So we're all here. We're all excited. Let's do this. First thing. Do you think the Jets are going to win a Super Bowl if Aaron Rodgers is in fact signed by the New York Jets? Is that what you think? Do you think that the Jets are going to get to and win the Super Bowl? I want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. Now, another thing that came out, we'll wait for your answers on that. I'm going to pull your answers up from the chat. But another thing, it was said today that Robert Saleh is trying to keep 90% of his defense intact. That's interesting, guys. That's very interesting. 90%. Three Amigos says, this is a move for ticket sales. Amazing. I don't know. I don't agree with you. I think it's obviously going to have an impact there, but Patrick Sullivan wants to know, how did my garlic snack go? Well, it takes a long time, so I made it quick. This is the remainder of my garlic. I took a clove of roasted garlic, smeared it on freshly baked bread, and melted a slice of cheese on it, and then I made a chimichanga because it wasn't enough. I had to do it fast, man. I had to do it fast. But thank you for asking. Let's see. Okay says yes. Oh, we got to go higher. Okay. Hennessy just says this fan base is crazy. Yeah, it is. Yes. New York Jets fan 4 says yes. Who's this number 12 guy from Wisconsin everybody's talking about? I know. What is this? Who is this guy? Why do we care? Shafiq, what's up, man? He says, yes, we will. Vervain's here. What's up, Vervain? Hector says 50-50. You got to pick one, Hector. This is not a 50-50 game. This is not what we're doing. One or the other. Make a stand, buddy. Yes, no. That's what we're trying to do tonight. Evan Wallman says, hell yes, GreenBean. All right. I like that. Patrick Sullivan says, hey, GreenBean. Oh, I did that one already. Hector says 100%. Hawk says 100%. Salty Nuts says, I don't know. Good question. Like that. Right, Phil. Right. It's a great point. Do you remember? Can you recall a team flying across the country to meet with a player and not signing him? I don't know. I think in this type of an instance, I mean, obviously free agents, teams meet with players all the time and they don't sign. So there's that. But not like this. Not like this. Jordan Victor says probably, but it gives us a higher, probably not, but it gives us a higher chance. Interesting. Higher chance. Rob says, did the plane? I don't know, Rob. I really don't. It's a good question. Georgia Bulldog Will says, hello. Well, hello to you, Georgia Bulldog Will. Kevin thinks it's yes. The Waz, how those garlic bulbs, dude, they're so good. There's nothing like it. Just go buy a big bag of garlic, chop off the top, drizzle some good olive oil on it, maybe a little salt, and just put them in the oven and let them do what they do in there, man. It's magic. And then it becomes a whole different thing. Just like that. Malone Labe says, hopefully. Yeah. I like what you did there. Let's see. He will win. Okay. Hennessy says he'll win us a Super Bowl and Fox Zach, a.k.a. Baby G. So he'll fix Zach. I think that's what you're saying. Amazing. Dude, can you imagine if the Jets, if we actually have something like that? Like, think about this, guys. For so many years, the Colts sucked, right? For so many years. Remember when the Colts were in the AFC East? A lot of these fans around, they don't remember this. It says, what? The Colts and AFC East? Yeah, the Colts were in the AFC East. They were our division rival. We played them every year, just like we do with the Bills and Dolphins and Patriots. And they sucked forever, dude. They sucked forever. And then all of a sudden they get Peyton Manning and then Marvin Harrison and Edgerrin James and then Reggie Wayne, right? And all of a sudden the Colts are considered this great team. Then they let Peyton Manning go. They get Andrew Luck, never quite to the same heights, but they were still a great team. And they're looked at differently, even though they've struggled of late. For 20 years, the Colts are looked at as the Colts. They're not the Colts. You see what I mean? Same thing with the Seahawks. The Seahawks were garbage forever. And then all of a sudden it turned around. Pete Carroll, Russell Wilson, Marshawn Lynch, and now they're the Seahawks. And before that, they had a little stint with Holmgren and Hasselback, right? So wouldn't it be nice to see like the Jets, and then we always struggle. We get a couple good years. And wouldn't it be nice to see it turn? Like Aaron Rodgers comes over. We win a Super Bowl or two. Zach Wilson, under the tutelage of Aaron Rodgers and Hackett and everybody else, turns it around and picks up right where he leaves off. And becomes our quarterback for the next 10, 15 years. Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't it be great? For gosh darn it. I know. Well, Peter, look, we just found out today Peter's done. He's all right, man. When? Oh, come on. Right, Peter? Fucking come on already. Rob's just prepping for the bandwagon Jets fans. He's waiting in the wings. Where are they? Pick them off for us, Rob. We know what they look like. 60-40 from Paul. Offensive line from Salty Nuts. Let's see. All right. So I see a super chat. Let's get to that. As you guys know, I appreciate the comments. We try to get to as many as we can in this particular stream. But super chats cut the line and are appreciated, guys. Sincerely. It helps the channel. All right. It really does. Especially for a guy like me who doesn't work. This is what I do. All right. So Paris checking in. Thank you, Paris. He says, what was your reaction when D. Carr was signed? Why do you think the Jets will give up their number one pick for him when the Packers want to get rid of him? All right. So okay. I see what you're saying for Rodgers. Well, Just because one team wants to get rid of somebody does not mean that they're devoid of value, right? We see that all the time. I mean, look, the Niners traded DeForest Buckner to the Colts for a first-round pick. He was amazing for the first couple of years. I mean, he was like that's all you gave up was a first. Look at Frank Clark. He went to the Chiefs and won a Super Bowl. He was instrumental. It happens all the time, right? One team can't do it. They're done. Like, look what the Packers did. The Packers, very unwisely, by the way, drafted a quarterback in the first, traded up to draft Jordan Love while Aaron Rodgers was there. They sent him a message. Now, this is the thing. People say it was a stupid move. Right now, I think it was weird. It was, I would just fortify the guy I have, give him receivers and running backs and linemen, and you know what I mean? But they didn't. And now, but here's the thing. You could argue that it worked because right on the heels of that, Aaron Rodgers won back-to-back MVPs. So what do you think? It could be said that it sparked something in that man. You know, he said, "Nuh-uh, I'm going to show you." So it worked. They didn't win a Super Bowl, but it's, you know, it worked. So, but they have this guy still on his rookie contract. He's been there 3 years. They know what they got. Aaron Rodgers is on the back nine, the back two, all right? And Jordan Love is an ascending player. They don't want to lose the young buck. Makes sense. They did this is the exact same thing with Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre. Brett Favre was still a good quarterback. He still had 3 years. He was very good with us, tore his bicep. We very foolishly cut him, and he went to the Vikings, got to the NFC Championship game. He was a stud. So, you know what I mean? So that's all well and good. So, I mean, I think Aaron Rodgers is still Aaron Rodgers, and we have a team that's waiting for an Aaron Rodgers, man. We do. Again, we have to make sure the offensive line is good. But, guys, we have weapons. We got tight ends. We got running backs. We have wide receivers. Now, we'll need to do a little bit of, juicing up, sure. But we're ready. We have a top 5, worst top 10 defense, right? Hopefully. We're waiting. But what was my reaction when Derek Carr signed? I'll show you. Let me show you, little Paris man. I'm going to show you what I said. All right. Here we go. So I'll show you right now. This is what I said. Okay. Paris, you with me, buddy? Let me see. Can you hear it? All right. There it is. This is what I said. Oh, wait. Hold on. The great Joe. Here we go. All right. So we lost out on Derek Carr, it looks like. The word is he's going to the Saints. A lot of us are freaking out a little bit. And by a lot of us, I mean me. But here's what I believe. I have every confidence in the world that our general manager, Joe Douglas, is not just sitting around on his hands waiting to see what's going on. He knows things. He's constantly on the phone. He's taking care of everything. And he already knows Aaron Rodgers has elected to play, and it won't be in Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers will be the New York Jets quarterback in 2023 and 24. Take that to the bank and relax. Okay? So that's what I said, Paris. Now, being completely frank with you, I didn't love the news. I didn't. As you guys know, I'm all in on Aaron Rodgers. All in. But I still have concerns, especially going into yesterday, right, that he's going to flake out. I don't love the idea of giving up our first-round pick, maybe 2, right? I don't like that idea. Obviously, there's more money with Aaron Rodgers as well. And I would really love the whole idea of actually having a quarterback that can stick around for more than 10 minutes, right? So I like all those things. Now, I see people all the time saying Derek Carr can only get you to the play. I think all that stuff is completely off base. I think Derek Carr has been an exceptional quarterback on an exceptionally poorly run organization and team 6 head coaches in 9 years, dude. That's all you got to know. Look at the way John Gruden's tenure ended. It was like fireworks. Henry Ruggs, same year. What did he do? He threw for 4,800 yards. You know what I'm saying? He's never had a higher than the 20th ranked defense. He's had some of the worst offensive lines in the entire NFL. So, this chair, man, it just falls. I don't love this chair. There we go. So anyway, so I was nervous, and I like the idea of Derek Carr. I like that he's a team guy. I like that he said, "All I want is this. I don't need $50 million. I'm not pulling a Lamar Jackson." Now you could say he's not Lamar Jackson, so that's fine. But I'm saying, like, and look what he did with the Saints. He made his deal around their cap situation. Like, what a good dude. Like that. Not everybody's doing that shit, man. So anyway, with that all considered, I was upset. I didn't love the news. So, but then I thought about it. I talked to some people, and I chose to believe Joe Douglas knows what he's doing. He didn't just lose out. Joe Douglas is in the know. Joe Douglas has his finger on things. He's out there. He's talking with people. He's aggressive. We saw him in last year's draft when they realized that Jermaine Johnson had slid. Like, so they used 4 and 10 on Sauce and Wilson, respectively. They got to 4 picks later, 14th. They saw that Jermaine Johnson wasn't taken, and he started working the phone. He worked the phone from pick 15 to 26 incessantly, constantly. He said every time a deal fell through, he thought that was the pick that was going to take Jermaine Johnson. He finally got it done 11 picks later, which is a long time, guys. That's hours. You know what I mean? So that, what is it? That's 15 minutes between picks, I think, right? So he's doing, he's working. So that's Joe Douglas. So I chose to believe that Joe Douglas is working it, and he knows things. He didn't just let Derek Carr go. If he really believed that Aaron Rodgers, even if it was 50-50, I think that he might have went harder for Carr. That's what I think. No matter how you slice it, I think Joe Douglas knew for a long time Robert Saleh and Matt LaFleur are literally best friends, guys. Literally. Best man in each other's wedding. There's only one dude you can pick in the whole wide world. They both picked each other. That's what they did. So that's what I think. Rob says Jimmy G has the highest upside if he stays healthy. He could run this offense well at Brees. Yeah. I don't think the highest upside. I think he's got upside for sure. He's younger than Rodgers. He's the same age as Carr. Thing is, both Rodgers and Carr are known as guys who play, stay healthy. Rodgers only has 2 seasons or so that he didn't finish the whole season in, 16 years? Something like that. Carr, same thing. He's missed 2 games his entire career, 9 years. And then Jimmy G has 1 season that he's ever finished. 1. It's complete flip. So yeah, the upside if he stays healthy, but it's a huge if. Now, I wouldn't be unhappy if Jimmy G was the guy that the Jets went and got. I'd be nervous, but Jimmy G would instantly be the best quarterback we've had here in a long time. Totally. Randilla says if Becton plays this season, if he plays the whole season, I'm with you, man. We forget just how dominant Mekhi Becton really was. Dude, he was unbelievably. I mean, we were so excited about him. He was crushing dudes. He took both Joey Bosa and Nick Bosa and neutralized them. Robert Saleh moved Nick Bosa to the other side of the line when the Niners played us. Don't forget that. And then he tore his knee up in that game, Nick Bosa. So Hawk says it too. If Becton, the bad luck, right? And the thing is, it's not like we drafted an injury-prone guy. We didn't. He just had a stretch. 2 years in a row, blows out his knee. Now, the thing is, I think it can be argued that the weight thing, that he was looking sloppy when he came to practice and he had that big shirt, big bust. Remember? It looked like a smock, like a muumuu. Like, you can say what you want, and I was a big supporter of Becton. I am. I'm a supporter of him, and I hate the way the narratives that they make. But let's be real here, and I said it then. He looks fat. He looks heavy, even for him. So then when he came back 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, and he looked slender, it was like, whoa, what happened there? So he did that in probably an unhealthy way. Like, you can't shock your body like that at that level. You know what I mean? So I think that there's an argument to be made that the weight and the way he handled himself wasn't optimal. So this whole year he's been at the facility. Robert Saleh has been singing his praises, man. It's a whole different thing this year. And I think staying at that weight and working through everything, I think is going to be a much better scenario than letting yourself get all sloppy and then losing it before the season. In the same way, I think it also, just energetically, man, it's a good idea to just be there for voluntaries and OTAs, and it's good. It's a good thing. Now he's having his first kid, and all right, man. All right, great. This year's different. Mekhi Becton, who's still 23 years old, is watching his career slip away. He knows this. He knows it, man. He didn't finish his rookie year. Remember the last 2 games? He got 3 quarters into his second season and was out the whole year. Remember they said he's going to be out 6 games, and then they said 8 games, and remember? It was crazy. Then they started saying, well, it should have been this, but he's so fat and unhealthy that he's not healing, and it was really ugly. Then he comes back and he blows it out in training camp. He knows my career is sliding down the toilet. So he's doing the right things. He's working his ass off. And like Three Amigos says, he looks good. And I think that we got a good chance to have our left tackle back. And guys, the way it's been, if we get Becton back and he plays, that's an additional first-round pick, dude. That's what it is. That's what it is. And if we use, let's say we keep 13, or even if it's the second round pick, let's say it's Dwan Jones, right? In the second round, who's another big boy, 6'8", something like that. Let's say we draft him. Becton beats him out. You got Dwayne Brown and Becton, left tackle, right tackle, respectively, right? So you got those guys. And then you have your rookie grooming all year. He's swing tackle guy, right? You have Max Mitchell already here. So you got those guys working, learning. Dwayne Brown retires next year. You already have a guy who's on the roster, knows the system, just filling in. That's the way you want to get. That's the way you want this to start moving. That's what we call the pipeline, right, guys? That's what we're talking about. Like this idea that every year we go out and bring in new people and then we expect it all to be great. Dude, it takes time. We saw it with Sheldon Rankins. He came in, we thought with great things. He really had a subpar season. Everybody wanted to cut him. Remember, dude, we talked about it all offseason. He was one of the guys that a lot of people had as a cut candidate. They kept him. He had a significantly better year. He was vital to the defensive line and to the defense as a whole. Now we're talking about Jordan Whitehead. We want to get rid of him and bring in somebody. Well, maybe, just maybe, his second year in this system, he's going to be significantly better. Like, we want to move on from people all the time. It's better to have a team together. Now, sometimes you got to, right? Whether it's money or somebody just sucks, right? Sometimes you make the decision, this guy's no good, I got to upgrade. He's slow, he's whatever, he's stupid, whatever it might be. But optimally, you want to have these guys on your team, coming up through your system. When this guy leaves, you got somebody who's been here 2 years, man. He just fills right in. There's not a step missed. Astamar, thank you for the super chat, my friend. He says, JD and every Jet fan should know our draft don't start until we get a quarterback one. I think, yeah, of course. I mean, right? I mean, of course, you need to know what's going on. You need it. Now, I would argue, Astamar, that applies to free agency as well. Like we talked about a little bit in the last stream. It's going to be a big deal for the free agents that we're trying to bring in. If Aaron Rodgers is here, that's a whole different deal than the Jets. We're trying to figure out, we don't have a quarterback. We got Zach Wilson under contract. You know what I mean? It's a whole different thing. Whoops. So Astamar, I'm with you. I'm with you, man. The draft, thankfully, is in 2 months. You know what I mean? Like, we still have a month and a half. April 26th, that's the whole month of April. And it's March 7th. So you got almost 2 months until the draft. Free agency is in 6 days. That's a whole different thing. That's coming. Right. So Hawk brings up as well that Becton doesn't live in Texas this year. Remember last year he lived with his girlfriend. She was pregnant. They were having the first kid. They were in Texas. He was working with Duke Manyweather. It's all fine. It didn't work. It was a bad look. He weathered a ton of negative press. And he came back talking shit, wearing the big bus shirt. I'm here to prove everybody wrong. And his knee blew out. At some point, you got to say to somebody else, dude, what do I do? I got to stop thinking. Tell me best thing to do. Tell me. He got some good advice. He lives in New Jersey. He's right by the facility. He spent all season there. In their face, they watched him. The Jets doctors, the Jets trainers were working with him. Now they know exactly where he is. They're not listening to somebody else and taking his word for it. As much as they probably respect Duke Manyweather, he's one of the best in the business. Doesn't matter. This is our staff. It's a whole different thing. Come on. What did I do, guys? No. What did I do, guys? What did I do with it? Maybe I did it over this. Hold on. What did I do with my thing? What a bummer. I'll tell you. I don't know what the hell's going on. Oh, there it is. Okay, sorry. I got to do. That's me. That's what I do. Don't worry, I'm quitting. This is the last month you'll ever see me vape. Ever. Take that to the bank. I know myself. I didn't smoke or vape for, I don't know, years. Then I opened a vape store down in Florida. And because I worked in there, I had to vape. So I was vaping zero nicotine just to be cool. to be like, yeah, man, you can talk about the flavors and everything. That was 5 years ago. Now I'm still friggin' vaping. Anyway, let's see what else we got here. No quarterback is no free agent. What do you mean? Well, Aaron Rodgers isn't a free agent, right? But I think it applies to the free agents that we're going to try to keep or bring. I think, guys, dude, listen, vets, like if they've already made $50 million, right? As long as they're not getting screwed, they're not taking a cheap contract kind of a thing, they're willing to take $1 million less, a little bit less if they feel like they're going to win. There's a lot of guys like that, especially guys who've made a bunch of money on shit teams. Believe me, losing steals your soul, man. They work their ass off every day. They're working just as hard, if not harder than everybody else. And they're on shit teams, terrible organizations. They're loyal. They do the whole and it's time. And then they look at the Jets. They got a top 5 defense. They got Garrett Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Breece Hall. And they go, you know what? I got the Cardinals offering me $8 million. I got the Jets offering me 6.5. I'm going to go place it for 6.5. You know what I mean? That happens. It's never to us. We usually pay more because nobody wants to play here. I agree with Paris. This is what I think is going on. Now, I got a little bit of news earlier, a little inside scoop earlier. This is right 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. The Jets are currently working on numbers. That's what they're doing. Compensation is worked out except for how numbers apply to the compensation. So that can change. Yeah. Phil says, where in Florida? I was my vape store was in Coral Springs, I think. But I lived in Hollywood. When I first went to Florida, I lived in North Miami. Then I moved to Surfside. I lived there for 2 years. Then I lived in Hollywood I lived in Hollywood. Then I moved to Hollywood again. I lived in Hollywood for 8, 9 years. Then I moved to Fort Lauderdale for 2 years. And then I was out. Right, Hank? Oh, Jordan, thank you, buddy. But I'm going to do it, man. I've quit many things. I'm a slave to stuff. You know what I mean? Like I'm an addict. I'm a true addict. I have that built into me, man. Anything I do it till I'm sick of it. Like that's just the way, or it destroys, makes me sick, whatever. Sugar, gambling, shopping. I fucking buy 10 guitars at the same time. Like that's just who I am. I work on it. I try. And then I hit a point and I go, enough. And then I'm able to beat it. Not me. I want to get all corny with you guys, but it's my spirituality, my God. But that's a whole different thing. I didn't say it's the same God you have. Looks a little bit like Yoda. A little bit. Let's see. Rob Vici. Honestly, if we get Rodgers, we should sign Obi. Get the fuck out of here, Rob. No. Rob, don't talk like that. I don't want him, dude. He's a poison pill. Again, nobody's going to take away OBJ's talent, right? Nobody. But he's an asshole. And if you don't think so, then why did 32 teams not sign him? Dude, he's not old. He's a not young, but he's not old. He's like, he's a mid-range guy, but he's a talented wide receiver. And he sat out the entire season in the middle of his career. Come on, dude. You know what I mean? He was healthy. So I don't want to hear that. That should tell you all you need to know. There's a million other directions, Rob. I love you, buddy. I just can't. I can't. Nope. Now, if they did it, I'm going to root for him, right? We know that. But I don't want him. I know. The Dark Soul just said he only wants to, like, he's waiting for the playoffs. Screw you, dude. What does that tell you? Screw you. Get out. Go somewhere else. Hector Cabrera, what's up, buddy? He says, if he comes to the Jets, will you part with that ball? What ball? What, this ball? Rex? Hell no. That's my Rexy baby ball. I don't know what you're specifically asking, Hector. If that's what it is, what other ball do I have? I don't think I have another ball. I got this. See that? That's Vinny Testaverde, buddy. Oh. Yeah, this is my little kid. Dude, I had this. I've told you guys before. I wore this thing. I got this when I was 4 years old. Somehow it stayed. It stuck. Somehow it made it through the whole gauntlet of life. Now it's here. Now I got it. This is now I gave it to my son. That's when I had this signed to my son. And then I took it back because now it's mine again. Because I'm like that. Clearly. I'm mean. But I don't know. I'm not giving up anything, Hector. If he comes to the Jets, will I part with that ball? I don't know. You quit, Hawk? Yeah, hold me to it, buddy. I'm with you. I'm telling you, this is it. This is it. I will not go into this spring, like April, May. I'm not going to be vaping anymore. I'm done. But for tonight, yeah. Fulham Jets, thank you. Says, I'm a silent viewer, but tonight's like Christmas Eve. Oh, you're all in a good mood, huh, Fulham? This guy got him all excited. He's like, yeah, I'm going to give a super chat. Good for you, man. That's awesome. You should be excited. It's like, it's big news. Like, the thing is, guys, is we've been sitting around for months chit-chatting about nothingness. So even though nothing happened officially, like nothing's in stone, real stuff happened in the last 2 days. Yesterday, Derek Carr got signed. That was real, right? Like, we had the visit. That was real, right? So that was big, the Derek Carr visit. And then he signs with the Saints yesterday. And then right on the heels of that, the Jets are meeting or talking with Aaron Rodgers. It's big. Now they flew out there to meet. Dude, now it's even bigger, right? It's even bigger. So good, Fulham. You should be excited. I'm happy you're excited. Well, Paris, this is the mentality that I use all the time. This is how I get away with it, right? Well, hey, I'm not smoking crack. And it is better, no doubt. That doesn't mean it's good. And when you compare things to the extreme, that's called justification, right? It's what I do. I'm a pro. I'm a pro justifier. What do you ask him? Or maybe I'm misunderstanding what you're saying. I apologize. I don't know what you're wrong. It's the New York Jets. I'm not sure what you're saying, buddy, then. Restate what you're saying. If I misunderstood, I not intended. I thought I had it. Shafiq Khan says, is Berrios better than Cobb? I'd have to say no. He's definitely younger. I'll tell you that. Definitely. I think Berrios is fine. Clearly, he had the yips, right? He had whatever happened to him in that Minnesota game up here stuck. It stuck. He was a different player. He was confused. When do I call a fair catch? He was fair catching it on the 3 and letting it go on the 25. Like, it was like weird. But he's still a good player. He's been very good for us as a 4. He's a good player. And I think that this team thinks at least going into last year, that he could very well play himself into a 3. I think there's no reason why he's never. I mean, he's a good football player. And he was an all-pro 2 years ago. I mean, come on. I don't know. Now, they might get rid of him, but it would be all money. And if Rodgers says, look, I really want Cobb, then you get Cobb. And if that's what you got to do, then all right, it happens, right? You want your new dude, a very, very important dude at that, to be happy. You want him to be as comfortable as he could possibly be, right? So if he says, hey, I really want Randall Cobb here. Okay. And Cobby wants to play. That's what he calls him, Cobby. You know when they take somebody's name and Cobb and he calls him Cobby? They're close. They're buddies. That's called a tell. Cobby. Let's see. I know Kevin says he's waiting for breaking news. I'm telling you, Kevin, we all are. That's why we're still out here. We're still out here sniffing around. What's going on? Anything? Hey, you hear anything? No, you hear anything? No, hey, you hear anything? That's what we're doing. Phil asks, no, I'm in Virginia, dude. I know. Well, it doesn't really fit. You saw that. It's like up to here. And it just gets on my head because all the padding's out. They used to hurt my ears so much when I would put it on. I hated that thing. But I'm in Virginia. I'm in rural Virginia. I'm going to have, by the end of April, I'll have chickens, dude. Chickens and crops. It's amazing. I don't know what the hell's going on, right? I was living in an RV last year. We were traveling around, riding roller coasters. Now I'm going to have chickens. I don't know. I'm just living life, guys. Just riding the damn train. Floating down the river. You know what I mean? That's what it is. Let's see. Yeah, Dino. Well, that's what my father did to me. My cousin Joe had it, same thing, but Giants helmet, right? He's still a Giants fan. My father and his father, my uncles, they took great delight in putting this on me and the Giants helmet on my cousin and like basically getting us like running in place and run toward each other. And we'd smash heads. And he was always smaller than me, but he was always meaner than me. As a kid, he was like really aggressive, scary dude. Small as shit, but he would hit so hard. Like all these are real hits, man. All this stuff. That's my cousin's head. Like for all this, it's even red. Look at that. It's a Giants helmet from the stripe. Yeah. It's all real. It's crazy, man. Still in decent shape. It's in decent shape. Let's see what else we got here. All right. What else we got? Rodgers and Hackett together again would be cool. Mike Brand. Well, I'll tell you what. When we were looking for an offensive coordinator, I think a lot of people didn't like the idea of Hackett, right? Now, why? Well, because he went to the Denver Broncos as a head coach and looked like shit, right? He had a terrible inaugural season as a head coach in the NFL. Terrible. So terrible, in fact, that they fired him before the season ended. They didn't even want to wait till he finished. So the idea of going and scooping up that guy isn't exactly exciting. But you got to remember, not everybody is a head coach is very, very different than coordinator. You got one group of players, that's not only are you worried about the whole team, but it's like the whole team, everything, the clock, the penalty, like everything. It's a whole different thing. Clearly he was in over his head. So it just so happens that the reason he got that head coaching job was because you can say Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers all you want, but he had his back-to-back MVP Aaron Rodgers was with Nathaniel Hackett. So he didn't do that before. I mean, all of his great years, he didn't do that before, back-to-back MVPs. So he did it with Nathaniel Hackett. So the idea is that this relationship, he knows how to get greatness out of a great quarterback. So that's only 1 year removed, dude. So when we signed him, I think a lot of fans got excited that, oh, well, this means we're going to get Aaron Rodgers. And that satiated a lot of people. It pacified us, right? But I think even in addition to that, the offensive staff that we put together, while maybe not the most exciting, not the biggest name, not Monken. A lot of people liked Monken, right? Okay. Monken, I don't know, it's fine. He never did too much in the NFL, making me all that excited. People love the guy. I mean, I like him fine, but I don't know, what did he do? You tell me, please. Tell me what he did. So that he's the bigger name, right? People liked him. But even that aside, he's an experienced coach. Like our issue last year was our offense was led by this young, talented offensive mind that probably should just be in the books, right? Just doing just drawing up the schemes and like his player relationship, dude, he did not do a good job. And that's because he's, in the same way Hackett was in over his head as a head coach, Mike LaFleur looked like he was in over his head here, having to develop Zach Wilson. Greg Knapp passed away, right? Then we got, Mike White and all the dynamics, and he doesn't like Denzel Mims, and Elijah Moore hates his guts, and all these things that are going on. Well, we put all that aside, and we brought in a staff that has been there, done that. Right? Hackett worked with numerous quarterbacks to success. Keith Carter, very good running backs coach, good run game coordinator, offensive line coach, right? So they might not be the most spectacular staff, but it's a solid staff. And the best case scenario would be if we reunited that guy that we hired with the guy that 1 year prior, they were lighting up the NFL. And looks like we're doing that. So that is a big deal, everybody. It's a big, big deal. Explosive Diarrhea says, Rappaport and these reporters who people think know nothing were spot on since Monday that Rodgers was talking to the Jets. Well, I don't think Rappaport's not a guy that people think know nothing. I mean, Rappaport's one of 3 or 4 guys that know. Rappaport's way up top of the knowing stuff group, right? But I think it goes both ways there, ED. It goes both ways. A lot of these guys put out these stories and know nothing. They, unconfirmed source or speaking on the condition of anonymity, those kinds of things. And most of it doesn't happen. But like if you throw enough shit at the wall, something's going to stick, right? But I think you're right. This time, but look, what's the report that came out the day before? Derek Carr is leaning toward the New York Jets. Now, who put that out? Derek Carr is leaning. Let me see who put it out. ESPN senior reporter, Jeremy Fowler. The free agent quarterback is leaning towards signing with the New York Jets over the Panthers and New Orleans Saints. That was literally 2 days ago. So, you know what I mean? It goes both ways. It does. It goes both ways. They clearly know stuff, but they're clearly wrong a lot. My whole thing is when there's no news, buying into rumor season is rumor. Like it's a specific season. They're throwing shit out there to keep clicks coming, to keep views, to keep interest. and we get upset. Like, that's my whole thing. Like, don't get upset. Don't let them upset us. Like, they're putting stuff on there and we get mad. And then we get mad at each other. We start fighting with each other about it. That's my whole thing. How could someone not like a Shefty? Yeah, Shefty's a good dude, man. You see, again, look at that story about his wife, him and his wife. Dude, just read it, watch it. It's out there. Just if you guys type it, you want to see a great, great story and know somebody on a different level than you know them now, go to YouTube and type in Adam Schefter 9/11. Just do that. You'll see. I know this is, Brian, this is funny, right? That's the truth. Samini's out there talking in vagaries, and we have a Twitter guy, a Jets fan, literally staked out at the airport. Why aren't they doing that? Because they're lazy. They don't want to. They don't have to do that. I'll just wait. I'll make shit up. If I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Who cares? Both articles got clicks. You know what I mean? No, PJC, my cousin, does not have that helmet. That helmet probably was gone by the time he was 12. Again, I don't know how. I don't know how I kept it all these years. I really don't. All right, let's see what else we got here. It's 11:21. Do a few more minutes here. Silv Scouts. What's up, Silv? He says, although I think the offensive staff may have its flaws, I think for the first time in a while, the staff has a sense of direction and identity. Yeah, I mean, now we can't at this point define what that necessarily is, but you can deduce that we intend to pound the damn ball, to ball, time of possession. If we get Aaron Rodgers, dude, the goal, this offense is going to do one thing well: score. Our running, we want to score when we're in the friggin' red zone, which Mike LaFleur, once he got in the red zone, was lost. Trick plays. Why are we doing trick plays on the 12-yard line? Like, I mean, once in a while, sure. That Minnesota game was madness. Madness. And like watching it was so frustrating. Hopefully we don't have to watch that again. Hennessy says Jets fans get better inside info than the. It's the truth sometimes, man. It is. We're not your normal fan base, though. We're really not. We're weird. We're intense, man. We put other fan bases to shame as far as like passion and interest and engagement. Why do you think if they put a New York Jets player up for Rookie of the Week, it's not a chance, dude? And they go, oh, it's a fan, it's bullshit. Well, where are your fans then? Why don't your fans give a shit? Then don't complain to us about that nobody gets to win when a Jets player gets up there. I don't want to hear it, man. Right? The Waz, are we worried about Rodgers throwing his hands up in the air, blaming wide receivers like he did at times in Green Bay? No I in team, but there is an I in win. Yeah. I'll tell you what, if we bring Aaron Rodgers in, you got to take the good with the bad. You just got to. And he's the boss. You know what I mean? On the field, he's the general. He's the boss. And if a wide receiver is off his mark, Aaron Rodgers is going to let him know, and he should. And if that hurts Elijah Moore's feelings, then Elijah Moore can go pound salt. It ain't going to hurt Garrett Wilson's feelings. Garrett Wilson wants to win. Garrett Wilson's going to do everything that he can to be perfect. I mean, I'm not saying Elijah Moore won't, but I'm just saying if that happens, It is what it is, man. If he rubs people the wrong way, then they need to go. Like, we're investing in an MVP level quarterback, Super Bowl champion, one of the elite best of all time. Just like the Bucks did with Brady, you build around him and you let him go to work. Give him every resource that you can, everything that you can to ensure that he succeeds, that this gamble works. And if there's somebody in the middle of it that I don't want to, get the fuck out of here. Get him out. That's what you do. You out. And for Aaron Rodgers, because like the thing is this, right? What, like a timing pattern, for example. The quarterback has to trust. Like, you can't wait. Like, one of the things Zach was doing was he's waiting until his receiver is open. We saw it a couple times last year where he trusted and zipped it and it was beautiful. Very rare. He's waiting until he sees his wide receiver is open. It's already too late. You know what I mean? You got to know where your receiver is going to break, where he's going to be, and you have to have a quarterback that, without reservation, trusts him to be there and can get it to the exact point where he's supposed to be. If the wide receiver is not getting there, Aaron Rodgers is going to let him know. And he should. And you'll know real quick who's a man and who's not, who belongs and who doesn't. Because Aaron Rodgers is going to tell you. And that's why when you talk about bringing in a Cobb, we already know, man, he and Rodgers are thick as thieves. They trust each other, and he's good. He might not be great anymore. Let me see here. Randall Cobb. Let me see what he did. Randall Cobb. He's been on Green Bay, right? The whole time, I think. Yep, the whole time. So he came in 2011. His best season was 91 receptions in 2014. He also had an 80, 79, 60, 66. The last few years, he had 38. 2019, he had 55. In 2020, thing is, he's only playing 10 games in 2020, 12 in 2021, 13 in 2022. But last year, he had 34 receptions for 417, 1 touchdown, and 19 first downs, guys. That's what Rodgers uses him for. He's my first down machine. Think about that. 34 receptions, 19 of them were for first downs. It's a big deal. I'm with you, Phil. It makes no sense to me. How are you supposed to tell me you're an NFL coach if you can't look at these players and figure out how to use them to their strengths? If you can't do that, you are worth nothing to me. I would literally say that. Like, are you kidding me? Sure, as we move on, I'll get you more players that you like. Sure, of course. Every high school coach has to deal with what's in the town, right? I coach Parsippany, New Jersey. I got what Parsippany gives me, man. And I got to be able to make those work and see if I can get these kids to win. How do I do that? I look at what I have and I use it to their strengths. If I have a bunch of kids that can be bruising running backs and tight ends, that's what my offense is. If I have a bunch of speedy, fast, then we're going to throw the ball. You know what I mean? We're going to do this and that and this. It's ridiculous. Look at this. O'Leary, I'm getting off right now, though, dude. It's one minute from 1 hour. So not bad. O'Leary just finished his Just Jets podcast for tomorrow. It'll be released in the morning. If you guys don't listen to it, you should. It's the best. And yeah, he pushed it all the way till now. He just finished it. Congrats. I'm glad you're done. Go to sleep, Matt. That's what I'm doing. I'm done. I'm shot today. So with that all said, I'm only here from, I was waiting for you, Matt. That's what it was. I was waiting for you. I hung out with Matt all day today. Okay. Let's see. Who are you talking to, Soul? Just what? There's a Bills fan here? Oh, yeah, he did. Yeah, Randall Cobb played. He went back to Green Bay. That's what it is. Correct. Thank you, Badger. That's true. He went back to Green Bay. That's what happened. That's what happened. No, Ron. Nope, he's not. Yeah, what a day, Matt. All right, guys. Listen, with that said, I am going to wrap it up. I appreciate you guys and all of your awesomeness. Mutt Viles taking us out. Jets will be division winners at 13-4 if Aaron Rodgers signs. If not, we got a different conversation to have, right? We trade for him, dude. It's going to be a big one. Imagine we get him for a fourth like we did Favre. Oh, my goodness. Go to work, Joey D. Go to work, buddy. That all said, guys, listen, have a great rest of your night. I'll probably see you tomorrow. Tomorrow, Beanbaggers, we're breaking down wide receivers, maybe. I forget what it is. But all you guys that are in the Beanbaggers, come on in. Tomorrow, we're having a good time. Dom C will be hopping in privately to be breaking down a position. You get an hour, 2 hours, whatever it is we spend in our private room. If you'd like to join, the link is in the description. Guys, please don't forget to hit the milk thumbs on the way out. The old thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I appreciate it if you do. Now's the great time to do it. Guys, thank you so much. Have a great night, and I will see you next time.
I think he's going to be day one, a violent vertical edge setter.
I see some gas off the hips. Get that mindset to put your shoulder on somebody.
Dig, drop, you're finished.